Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and I thought today we'd do just kind of a fun little collection type video. Anybody who's been into the hobby of emulation or other classic games, you've probably gotten into buying an emulation device, and I just want to kind of show off kind of what I have, and at least what I'm running with my handheld devices. To start out, you could see I have this is a Game Boy Color. This is my childhood Game Boy Color, and I recently restored it, and it's actually looking pretty darn good. I recently restored it, so I took pretty darn good care of this thing, so it wasn't really all that hard of a job. But if you're a keen observer, you can notice something a little bit different about it. The screen size. Now, this is the pocket right next to it. If you can notice that it's just a little bit smaller of a screen size. And that's because this Game Boy Color has an IPS display in it, backlit display. I recently threw in a backlit display, and I think it looks great. I mean, it really brings some usability to this thing, especially in the dark. You're always with those old displays, you were always worried about whether you had a light overhead. And now, when you pop in a backlit display like this, and this was completely drop-in, so I didn't have to do any soldering or wiring or anything like that. And that's pretty much what you get. And this is a tempered glass screen protector around the outside of it. So that's a nice little upgrade, but it still preserves that original look. Now with this drop-in kit, the screen dimensions unfortunately just come in slightly smaller, so you lose a little bit of that screen real estate, but honestly it's not really that bad. And then next, this was actually my sister's Game Boy Pocket back in the day. It still has a game in it, Pokemon Gold. I had Crystal in there too. Yeah, this is from back in the day. She had a Pocket and I had a original Game Boy. And then once the Color came out, I upgraded to that, and she never really touched this thing, so I just took it from her when she was done using it. And then once I broke into the emulation era, my first emulation device was this. It's called I'm trying to remember what this was called. I think it's called the LDK Landscape. Just a small little device, and plays a lot of your 8-bit and 16-bit systems, and it plays them really well. This thing caught a lot of flack back in the day for not being all that good of a emulation device, but I mean, if you go back just a few years, emulation was kind of a joke. I mean, most of your devices were users making homemade solutions to try to, what was it, like they used Raspberry Pi and other things like that to try to get this is a different, but anyways, yeah, they used Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. And these devices back then were really, really, weak devices. But you know what, this thing got me into it and played all of the classic stuff really, really well. So I had that, and then I eventually upgraded to, the Retroid Pocket, and I since sold that once I ran across this. And anybody who knows emulation knows that the Anbernic devices are their quality is second to none. I mean, they're starting to take a hit in 2022 when it comes to they're falling behind in the game. They're not using any new technology, or their chips are just not on par with what we're expecting for 2022. A lot of devices nowadays are starting to play, GameCube and above really well. And Anbernic really doesn't have a device right now that can emulate those harder to emulate systems. they're trying. They're getting into it this year. But what was that, with the Win 600 that just came out? That was a super lackluster effort by them, and we're hoping that they can get that figured out for the future. But this is the RG351P. If you can't tell a theme right now, I mean, yeah, we've got the classics right here, but if you can't tell a theme, I am a landscape user. I love the feel of landscape. You know, you got these kinds of, you know, the up and down for nostalgia, but I just love the feel of landscape. That's just my thing. And the screen resolution on the P is slightly, I think it's something by 320. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's not your 480p screen that comes in the other Ambernix, which makes the pixel resolution maybe just a little bit lower, but I don't really notice that. And the dimensions for this screen are for Game Boy, you know, perfect for Game Boy Advance games, which I play a lot of. And so that's why I ended up picking up a device like this. And then, of course, once we started to get into the more powerful systems of this past year, the Odin Pro finally came out, and that's when I jumped into that and got myself a device that can start to actually play. Once they started showing off that they could play GameCube, that's when I was all on board, because I really wanted to be able to play the Zelda games. So really, that's what I ended up getting the Odin Pro for, and it was to play your GameCube Zelda games like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. And with the right emulators, was it the Dolphin MMJR, and a couple of tweaks, it's really a smooth experience. So that's what I have right there. And then this is not an official Nintendo SP shell. When I did the backlit screen for this guy right here, I also bought a new shell, because I bought from, I think, GameStop many years ago. I bought I traded in my old Game Boy Advance for an SP version because I wanted a backlit screen, and now these SPs are at a premium right now because of the backlit screen on these guys. I mean, you can go with a much brighter IPS screen you can throw in these things, but I find that this screen plays just fine. But the shell itself, it was a just super crappy blue shell. So I went on, what was it? Handheld Legends website, and that's where I got the screen for this. And they had a bunch of different shells for the Advance. I mean, and you look at the way these things are made. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to tell that this wasn't an official Game Boy Advance shell. Comes with the sticker. It's really official. So I mean, and it comes with a Nintendo sticker right there. I mean, so you really can't even tell that this thing isn't officially licensed unless you know what Nintendo put out. But I'm curious to see what everybody else has. I mean, this is kind of the hobby that I've started to get into, and I'm really excited for what's to come. I have the Steam Deck on, at least on pre-order. I don't know what round I'm in. I'm hoping it would be available before the 1st of 2023, but you know, we'll just kind of take it as it is right now. I get kind of frustrated watching more and more videos of, oh, let's check out this new Steam Deck dock that I just got, and this and that or whatever. It's like, oh, that's nice. A lot of us haven't even gotten our device, and you guys are checking out new accessories that they're putting out, so that's kind of frustrating. But you know, well, I'll get one, and when I do, I'll do a little review on it. But let me know what you guys think. The other handheld devices that you guys really enjoy, I'd love to hear about it. So I think that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next video.